Pro Bowl teams were announced on Monday night. There are your NFC Pro Bowl quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Kyler Murray, the three choices, notably absent. #Tommy. And Bruce Arians made the case last week that Brady should be a Pro Bowl quarterback. And when you look at the passing numbers, he should have been one of the three. But the running numbers gave Kyler Murray the edge, Chris. And look, it's a snub. Who cares? I mean, the irony is that Tom Brady spent his entire career avoiding the game when he was named to it. The 1 year where they're not playing the game is the year he doesn't make it, so he doesn't have to come up with some cockamamie excuse. Or, hey, I'm in the Super Bowl. Most of the time it's been, hey, I'm in the Super Bowl. I don't have to play in the Pro Bowl. But even when he's been available to play in the Pro Bowl, he's avoided it. I don't know. Should he have gotten in over Kyler Murray?
I think as we sit here right now at this moment, I probably would say no. But the problem is the voting is done. When did it finish, Mike? What was that, 4 weeks ago? Right? Maybe?
They do the fan voting right up until the very end. The fan voting counts for a third.
Right.
Players count for a third, and coaches count for a third.
Right. All right. So I mean, the players, and at least the way I used to when I was in football. I mean, usually around week 10 or 11 is when you voted, right? And at that point of the year, Brady and the Bucs were a little bit shaky at that point, I guess, to a degree. I think as we look at it right now that, I'd probably take Tom Brady over Kyler Murray in like the totality of 15 full games with Kyler Murray and kind of the sluggish part of the last 5-6 weeks from him. But I understand it. And, Kyler Murray, of course, is the new fad, a new thing in football. And you're right. You can't just take it through passing stats. The rushing stats are part of Kyler Murray's game. And that's very important to where I feel like that needs to be added to the total thing and conversation sometimes when we compare these traditional drop-back quarterbacks to these new age quarterbacks like Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I agree with you completely.
What do you think? Would you go Murray or Brady? What was your thought?
Right now, I'd go Brady.
Yeah.
Murray has tailed off, but you're right. They do the voting earlier in the year, and some players are going to benefit from that. In recent weeks, I think Brady's been better, and as a result, he's not in. Now, in any other year, it wouldn't matter. The reputation gets him in. It's kind of weird to see him for the first year in the NFC not even be a serious part of the conversation. But my guess would be if they were playing a game and one of those three quarterbacks was unavailable for whatever reason, Brady would be the next man up, not that he would show up for the game. I have a feeling he's number 4 on that list. And they always name all the alternates because we know it's inevitable the alternates are going to show up in droves. One guy who definitely got snubbed in the AFC, DeForest Buckner, the Colts defensive lineman. What? Are you kidding me? And again, it just shows you that stats drive the bus so much for people. How many sacks does someone have? Not how are they doing in the F the play up category, but Jim Irsay spoke out on behalf of DeForest Buckner, a guy he gave up a first-round pick for and gave a bunch of money to. I have some real practical jokers working for me. Tonight they tried to tell me DeForest Buckner didn't make the Pro Bowl. I said, nice try, and to come back with something more believable. That's actually one of the best tweets I've ever seen from Jim Irsay.
I mean, it really is. He's right. I mean, I think that's the big thing. He is right. And you're right. It's too much stat-driven. And I'm pulling up the roster here because there's a lot of good defensive linemen as far as in the AFC and guys there. I mean, I understand it's not easy. But the point is, like when we got Chris Jones, Cameron Hayward, Calais Campbell as those defensive tackle players, they are all really good. There's no doubt. None of them, okay, and this is no disrespect to any of them because I think they're all awesome. None of them has been as good as DeForest Buckner this year. DeForest Buckner arguably is the NFL defensive MVP if Aaron Donald's not in football, for my money. Him, Myles Garrett, I'm probably missing another name or two there that deserves to be in it, but Buckner is yeah, right. Buckner's been a force. So the one that's egregious to me a little is Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell, again, I think he's a Hall of Fame football player. I'm not trying to disrespect him in any ways, but he was hurt this year, and he's certainly not as dominant as DeForest Buckner has been for that team. So that was one of the ones that certainly popped out to me more than any other.
But I think it gets back to the timing of the voting. Think back to Week 10. He got injured right around then.
Could be.
And prior to that, he was dominant, right? He was dominant, and he did have 3 sacks against the Jaguars, but against the Jaguars are the 3 words that are critical to that comment. Another former Jaguar who was motivated to play the Jaguars, just like Yannick Ngakoue, getting it done for the Baltimore Ravens. But, yeah, DeForest Buckner should have been one of these guys. Somewhere, somehow, he should be on the Pro Bowl team. Another guy that was snubbed in the opinion of tight end George Kittle, Robert Tonyan, rhymes with Funyan, the Green Bay Packers tight end. I don't think his numbers have been anywhere close to the stratosphere of like a George Kittle, but he does have 10 touchdowns, and George Kittle points out that, Evan Engram is a hype machine. Has he ever really produced?
No, yes, it's not been, special, but it's pretty damn good. He has the New York fan base behind him. He is a really...
Are they?
Well, you're right. That's questionable. He's got some big drops. There's no doubt. But that I understand what George Kittle's saying there. I do. I think that's a legitimate argument. Like TJ Hawkinson, he deserves to be on there. He has a chance to be George Kittle. I mean, he's that kind of football player. He's in the Lions, and we're not going to see him a lot, and he's not getting a lot of national attention. But superstar. The Tonyan versus Evan Engram thing, I think you can make certainly a good case. I mean, Tonyan's 10 touchdowns. That's a pretty impressive number for a tight end right now. But Tonyan
rhymes with Funyan.
Tonyan
rhymes with fun. Once I heard that, first of all, it gave me
now.
no desire to eat Funyuns. All due respect to our friends at Frito-Lay, I love all of your products except Funyuns. But I love Robert Tonyan with his 10 touchdowns. Evan Engram has 54 catches on 95 targets. That's not exactly a high success rate. 572 yards and 1 touchdown this year.
Yeah.
Tonyan rhymes with Funyan has 10 times the touchdowns of Evan Engram.
He got screwed. There's no doubt about that. There's no any other way to say that. I think Evan Engram, first-round pick. He's got receiver-like ability. He's had a few big plays this year, right, where, you see him running down the sidelines and doing stuff like that catches people's eyes on highlights. But, I feel bad for Tonyan. Sorry, I got to get that right.
Engram is one of these guys who had a good enough year as a rookie that it created anticipation that he's going to break out, he's going to break out, he's going to break out. He's never broken out. But he did enough as a rookie that there's just this weird sense. And I think it's fantasy football driven, and it's just never paid off. But it did. He's in the Pro Bowl, the game they're not playing. Let's take a break.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.